chuckle knowing that he kind of got away with one, but what matters is the scoreboard. It is still a 1-game lead for Magnus Carlsen. Grischuk made 7 F-pawn moves in 10 turns. That's just a random oddball stat, courtesy of you-know-who, Mike Klein, looking for ways to give us useless information in an entertaining way.
Well, it's like ESPN.
It's like the Elias Sports Bureau says, that's the first time a ball has been thrown on
the first Thursday of the month.
On the first Thursday of the month in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Yep, and here we have a Rogozin defense, and Grischuk opts for queen b3 instead of queen a4 check, which is very popular in many of the variations.
Right.
And, okay, Magnus is probably comfortable in this kind of structure, but I tend to slightly prefer white in this opening. I think Grischuk he's been playing for kind of a nominal advantage in most of his games. It's just symbolic, but he's been playing really well.
I mean, overall, Grischuk has just played. I mean, you can't say better chess because he's down a game, but he's played just like super high quality chess. He's made some blunders in time pressure, been unable to convert.
Yep.
His string of 960 wins did come to an end as Carlsen took the first game of Chess 960 in this 3-minute portion. But we have a match, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 1-game match. It is everything we expected it to be.
And now e4 looks like a very tempting move to me here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
e4, open the file aggressively, get bishop to b5 with check. Although if you don't have anything concrete to follow up, you may have to displace your knight, right? So maybe it's not. Looks like maybe he shouldn't go for that. He's calculating what he wants his plan to be here.
Yeah, maybe knight e5 to d3 to f4 is also a way to maneuver the knight around. Yeah, it's actually Grischuk he's got time for once. So knight e5 is tempting. I guess g3, putting the bishop on that diagonal is tempting. e3 as he played, not bad at all.
Right.
Yeah, knight e5 at some point is going to be...
I was wondering if you go for c4, because the advantage is that you change the hanging structure, you get rid of your weak pawn.
Yep.
And a temporary sacrifice, if you gobble back this pawn, you've turned it into a lone isolated pawn for your opponent. So a very nice positional strike, c4. If you can safely get this pawn without black getting too much counterplay, although here comes Carlsen, right?
Well, king c2, right?
King c2, also rook to d3. I kind of like rook d3 and,
rook d3 also
bring the rook right where it wants to be after I gobble it.
This is just limiting all of black's pieces.
Further clamp down. There's something in the air in this game.
Yep.
I don't want to go all Elton John on you right now, but I feel the love. I feel like Grischuk is going to win this game right now.
Yeah, I'm really like this position.
I love the Russian technique so far.
Yeah, and the problem is I think knight d7 was safer than this c3 stuff, and I think MVL actually. Maxime Vacher-Lagrave, he said knight d7 was much safer. I completely agreed. But, yeah, this is kind of painful for black. You have no really active moves. If you go a6, you're also committing your pawn to a weak square that the bishop is always going to be spying on. And you're going to lose the c3 pawn anyway, either rook d3 as you suggested or king c2 as I suggested.
Yeah, and it looks like if white can just positionally clean up the c pawn without too much counterplay, then everything we said will come true, right? He'll be grinding down an endgame, playing for 2 results. Want to remind everybody, get involved in the conversation. # Blitz Battle or Blitz Battles on Twitter. Of course, you can get involved with the chat. All kinds of title players, including Maxime Vacher-Lagrave, actively chatting at chess.com. But tweet at us. Use the # Blitz Battle. Maxwell G. Just tweeted 12,000 viewers and growing with an amazing match. This has promoted chess greatly. Anyway, all kinds of people get involved. Thank you, everybody. He gets the pawn with the king. Not ideal in terms of pressure on the pawn because it's not the rook.
Yeah.
But
he's got now the b and the d file.
Yeah, now he's got the b and the d file. And we may just see rook b1 followed by the other rook getting involved. So what's Magnus preparing with g5? He wants to kick the pony?
Yeah, he probably wants to kick that knight out, because otherwise it would have been knight g6 to f4, which would have been annoying to deal with. But now, if you're white, you have to, I was about to say, go pawn h4.
Yeah, you have to go h4.
Well, Magnus is shaking his head.
He's not happy with g5. I think he regrets that decision. It almost allows white these principle of two weaknesses, right? We've highlighted that before. You got one weakness to keep your eye on. Now you create a second target. H5 is a positional move that separates these two pawns, a very common positional idea, so that they both become targets and they can no longer protect each other.
And even F3 here, because if G takes F3, you go G takes and use the G file for your rook.
Word, homie. Word.
Yeah, look, you don't like that knight on B8, rook on A7 combination?
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's looking very, very bad.
Okay, he goes F4, which is essentially your same idea, but he says, I'm going to solidify my knight's position and invite you to open the G file. If you don't,
I'm going to go E4 and F5.
I'm going to go E4 and F5, playing on the human nature of everyone loves to en passant when they get a chance to do it. C4, okay.
Yeah, E4 right now is just...
Yeah, Grandmaster Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is faster than either of us can be with his typing. He says E4 now for white. Makes a ton of sense. This is our show, Maxime, not yours. No, I'm kidding, buddy. Keep it going. Keep
Knight
the commentary
G6 check?
going.
I mean, what's...
Knight G6 and F5. Maxime is correct. Here comes F5. The king is in a little bit of trouble.
So I guess the bishop wants to come to D7 somehow and trade.
Right.
But I wouldn't even trade it there. I'd just go
Okay,
bishop
we
back to
finally
C2.
see the support of the knight, which again separates these pawns.
Bishop C2 I would play immediately. Keep the bishops on the board. Support a... Yep, there it is. And knight C6. So finally the knight has gotten out of its home, but after this move, exactly, E5. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Have to apologize for my pop culture blunder, as at Samuel Maxton tells me, In the Air Tonight is Phil Collins, not Elton John.
Yeah.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
It's from Tarzan. You should know
On
that.
Twitter,
I should have called
know.
you
I
out.
mean,
That's
you should
my
have called
fault.
me out on that. At Will Fenton says things are tensing up. Sasha's coffee is kicking in. Perhaps he's right. If Sasha wins this game, which looks like he's on to do, look at the attack on the king. The H6 pawn is falling.
Look at Magnus' face right now.
He's really not I mean, G5 was a big mistake. I mean, he really allowed the principle of two weaknesses to take effect. He should have focused on coordinating the queen side. And according to our assistant as well, the engine agrees with everything we're saying. It's +3 for white in this position.
And it's amazing to be +3 when are you down? No,
you're down a pawn, which means you're probably a Komodo variation, from the fire-breathing dragon finding a forced mate or something.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it looks like... Okay, maybe this other rook gets involved now. I was wondering if rook E1 at some point, trying to get the file.
And black has precisely 0 active counterplay. The knight covers all the vital squares. Now rook E1 is going to be... rook E1 right now feels pretty good.
Yep.
Rook E1, knight D3, rook E to E6, and just start mating the king.
Yeah, the rooks find themselves together. And things are going to get
weird. Rook E7, actually, after knight D3. Rook E7 wins.
Yeah, I would go rook E7. You said rook E6. Both are good. So here we go. The attack is on. It's mate. Magnus is shaking his head. It's now +5 for white. Yep. Rook E7 hurts, courtesy of Maxime Vachier-Lagrave.
Okay, there has to be a checkmate somewhere, but I don't see it. Oh, okay, there's rook H6 check, king G8, rook takes C7, rook takes C6, knight E7 check.
So he's just going to clean up material.
Well,
oh, he didn't do it.
Okay,
he just wants to rinse and repeat. This still works. Take and then take C6, followed by a fork.
There it is.
And looks like Sasha sees it.
There. Oh, you see, was it a fist pump?
He popped the collar.
And was that a fist pump too?
Did he just pop the collar?
He did.
He fist pumped. He popped the collar. He ties the match with this win, assuming he cleans up.
Yeah,
And we are in for a dogfight.
G3 here, and after G3, knight E2 check. I take on C4. I'll go knight E5 and take on G4. Just make sure I don't have any problems on that side of the board. Yeah, this is...
Yeah, he cleans up the G pawn. Counterplay is gone. C4 falls. And you even have the right color bishop for the corner for those who are keeping track of potential weird draws. So that means even a knight trade is a win.
Yep. And
it's important, actually, because it makes it really easy for white.
Yes. And we are very sure... What?
I think he just forgot his knight was hanging. Okay, and the match is tied. The game is on. We are on the edge of our seats right now.
Magnus shaking his head in just utter disgust. And, I mean, with that popping of the collar and the fist bump, I think Grischuk is happy right now.
Grischuk is real happy. He has turned things around. He was up against the wall. The biggest lead so far for either player in the match has been 2 games.
Yeah.
It was almost 3 games for both players. But 2 games has been the biggest lead. Right now we have a tied match with 15 minutes to go in the 3-minute portion. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, and here we have another Sicilian, and this time a Najdorf. And it looks like Magnus has been at home, just trying to play against
he
his
likes
D5
these
square.
positions. Yeah, we've seen it a few times.
But honestly, Grischuk has really impressed me in his Sicilian, both on the board and online. He's played very well today in these Sicilian structures. So Grischuk is clearly very comfortable, and with the trend.